Alright guys, listen up. You could keep your settings to whatever you want in Black Ops 6. However, I'm going to tell you guys that these 10 settings that I'm going to share with you right now are probably the 10 most important settings that I recommend you guys copy mine exactly in order to play the game a lot better, in order to just have an advantage over the enemies and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to share these 10 most important settings. All the other settings, you can do whatever you want with them, but trust me guys, you're going to want to switch these up right here. Now, first off, before we get into the video, if you guys could drop a big fat like, I would truly appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel with those notifications on, and let me know down in the comments below what is your current sensitivity. And we are going to talk sensitivity afterwards, and that's going to be the only one on this entire list that I'm going to say is kind of negotiable. You could change it if you need to, but let's get into all the other ones first. And I want to talk about the ADS field of view. All right guys, this one is probably one of the most important ones. This one is going to make or break a gunfight. It's going to help you win a lot more gunfights if you set it to the proper value. So if we go over to our settings, we go into the graphic settings, which you wouldn't think it's there, but it is actually there. And then after that, we go into view. You are going to see ADS field of view, and this one right here has two options. You have independent and you have affected. So we're going to go to independent. No, actually, let's go to affected first, and I want to show you guys something here. We're going to aim at this door. As you guys can see, I aim in. It doesn't bring in the door much. Everything is almost the same FOV that I'm playing at. If you look at this window right here, if there's somebody head glitching in there, it's going to be really hard to hit him, right? It's going to be really hard to hit the dude in there because I could barely touch my right joystick. The second I touch it, it's already moving all over the place. So keep that in mind, all right? But then we go back to our graphic settings, and then we change it from affected to independent, and this is what I recommend. Independent is always nice. And this one right here, once I aim at this door, it brings it in nice. It brings it into a closer 80 FOV. So if I'm playing on 115 right now, 115, and then when I aim down sights, it's in at around an 80 or a 90. I think it's a 90 by default. So this is actually really good because once you aim at this window, it brings that window in a lot. As you guys can see, right now I'm barely pointed at the window. Right now I'll be able to hit that dude's head super easily. I can move my joystick a lot. It'll still stay within that same area. I recommend independent. It's nice. It takes some time to get used to because it's a little weird. You're going to zoom in a lot. It's a little weird. It definitely takes time to get used to, but in my opinion, it's really worth it. It brings in everything so close to your screen. It makes everything so easy to hit. It's going to be really nice to hit the enemies. Now, another thing I want to talk about is actually going to be in your settings as well. Well, everything in this video is in settings, but this one right here, we're going to go and we're going to talk about the dead zone inputs. All right, this one's kind of important as well. You guys could kind of change this. You don't have to change it. I recommend changing it. So we're going to go over to controller settings, and then from here we're going to go all the way down to dead zone inputs, and this is what I recommend. I recommend following these numbers exactly as you can. The left stick minimum, if you could put it down to 0, I would really recommend it. I have stick drift, so I have to leave mine at 5. Now the left stick max, I would recommend leaving it at 25. It's going to take some time to get used to, but if you put it lower, you're going to give yourself a little handicap as well. And if you put it higher, you're going to give yourself way too much range on that joystick to do what you want to do. When you put it down to about 25, this is perfect. You move that left joystick very little and you'll already be sprinting. You'll already be doing a whole bunch of stuff. It's really nice. Now the right stick minimum, I would recommend, again, 0 if you don't have stick drift. I have to put mine at 3 because if I put it all the way to 0, my character starts moving in game left and right, and whatever. I don't like it. And then maximum, you want as much range as possible. You want to put this up to 100. And I also recommend playing with control freaks, which you guys could use my code iDoNick12. Save yourself some money on that. But what I'm getting at here is the more range you have on that right stick, the more tight your accuracy will be, the better your accuracy will be. So make sure that you put that up as high as possible. Mine's at 100, and then I got a control freak on my right stick as well, which gives me even more range, like 150, imagine. And then the triggers, you want these at 0. You don't want these up at 13. The default is 13. Turn those off 100% of the time. Just not worth it. Now we're going to go into the aiming here, all right? And then from here, this is at number 3, and this is the aim response curve type, and this one's important as well. So you're going to go into there, and then you're going to click aiming advanced settings, and then right here you're going to see we have dynamic, we have linear, we have standard. So I'm going to give you guys an example here. Dynamic and linear, if you use any of these here, and then you switch this number to 0, that's basically standard. The closer you put dynamic to 0, the closer it is to the standard response curve type. All right, so I recommend 80. I recommend dynamic 80. If you play linear, again, don't go lower than 80. There's no point. You're just getting yourself closer to the standard slope scale. Put yourself on dynamic 0.80, and you should be pretty good right there. Now, another one that's kind of like a bonus that I want to talk about is just sensitivity per zoom. This is not a tip or anything. This is not a setting that you have to change, but I recommend putting your ADS sense down to 0.95, especially if you're going to be playing with this right here where it's a little, everything's zoomed in. 0.95 is just really, really nice to glue onto enemies, and it's just really good. After that, we're going to go back into the controller settings. From here, we're going to go over to movement, and then in movement, there's going to be some things that you want to change here as well. We're going to go all the way down to like movement behaviors, and you guys will see all of these right here. There's a lot of options here. There's a lot of stuff. We're going to go into movement advanced settings, and then we're going to just do some things. All right, so single tap to sprint, that is what you want on. Sprint, tactical sprint behavior, you want it on toggle, obviously. And then there's a few things here that you want to turn on, like slide, maintain, sprint. You want this on. Sprint restore, again, you want this on. Automatic airborne mantle, turn it off. Useless. If you're in a gunfight, it's going to get you killed. It's just not worth having on. If I'm in a gunfight, let's say right here, and then I jump, my character's just gonna mantle. Well, he didn't mantle, he just jumped straight over it. But let's say I'm in a gunfight here and I'm fighting someone and I'm jumping and stuff, I'm just gonna mantle automatically. And as I'm mantling, let me ADS so I can show you guys this. As I'm mantling, I get out of ADS. I'll be dropped in an instant. But if I'm sitting here and I'm just jumping, I just want to see where he's at, and I'm just peeking around like that, I don't want to mantle by mistake. So turn that off. It's not worth having on, all right? Again, it's just another thing that just gets annoying and stuff, and then, yeah, you don't need it. And then the last important one here, the mantle cancels reload. This one a lot of people don't think of. You're going to turn this off. It's on by default, which means that if you're reloading your gun, you're going to mantle. But right now, actually, let's turn it on so I can show you guys. I'm going to show you guys a good example right here, all right? So we're going to go back here, we're going to turn it on, and then I'm going to start reloading and just jump, and I automatically mantle. It cancels the reload. And if you do actually end up mantling it, the good thing is, like, look, I'll start my reload, I'll get halfway through, he goes back to not reloading. The mag is still in there, everything's still in there. So if you do mantle by mistake while reloading your gun, you don't have to finish the reload animation after your mantle is complete. So that's actually really nice. Now, let's go to interface a sec. This one's a nice one. I like talking about this. I like interface a lot. We're gonna go to gameplay HUD, and we're gonna just show you guys a few things. Your minimap shape, look at round. Round is really ugly. You can see up there in the top left, there's not much. If there's people out in the northwest area, I won't see much, all right? Especially if they're out in the corners there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the interface. We're just going to change that to square. And as you guys can see, it's already a lot bigger. That minimap is already a lot much bigger than it was before. So that's one thing you're going to want to change up in the interface. Another thing is that you're going to want to put that radar on. It's just nice to have. The compass type you're going to set to minimap. Now, as you guys can see, my map, I don't have any buildings on it, all right? That's just a personal preference. I don't recommend playing with that. I just like not having buildings on it. I find it just so confusing. I just want to see that red dot and know where that red dot is. That's the reason why I take all of that off my minimap. But you guys don't want to do that, so don't copy me for that second, all right? But after that, we're going to go to crosshairs. You're going to turn on your center dot to the largest. You're going to set the opacity to 100, and then the crosshair color, you're going to set it to, I would recommend fuchsia, all right? Some people recommend yellow. I don't recommend yellow. Yellow just, it blends in with the sun too much. I recommend like something right here, something that maps don't have that color. Like trees aren't this color, the sun's not this color. These are just really, really nice to have. And then from there, you're going to go ahead and you're going to just make it to the brightest, the saturation up to the highest, and then you're just going to hit apply. And it's going to look nice. As you guys can see, I can see that purple dot everywhere. I'm looking towards the sun. As you guys can see, I'm looking towards the sun, and I still see that purple dot. I'm looking everywhere. That purple dot is still so visible on my screen. So that's really important as well. And then back in interface, going down to number 5 here, you're going to go to color filter. So we're going to go to readability. We're going to go to color customization. You're going to go to color filter 2. You're going to set it to both. And then the world intensity and interface color intensity, you're just going to set these to 100. Color filter 2 makes everything nice, bright, vibrant, and just so nice to look at, as you guys can see right here. Everything just looks good with color filter 2 on. So make sure to put that on. It's going to be easier to see enemies as well. Now going down to number 4, we're going to talk game volume. So we're going to go into audio here, and there's going to be a few things, all right? So we're going to go to number 4, which is specifically just the master volume right here. What I recommend is putting gameplay music all the way down to 0. I'm playing on 50 because it sounds better. Ooh, that's glitching out everything. It just sounds better for the videos that I'm recording and stuff, but you want this at 0. You don't want to hear the music. You want to hear everything possible in the game over that, but if you really want to hear it, still put it at 50. Dialogue and effects volume, you're going to want these at 100, okay? 100% of the time, you're going to want these at 100, and then cinematic music volume, again, you can put this down to 0. It doesn't really matter. Those things are not stuff you want to hear, but effects and dialogue. Effects is pretty much footsteps. It's also gunshots, it's grenades blowing up, it's all the effects, sound effects and stuff. You want to hear those. And then dialogue volume is just the in-game characters doing callouts. Again, you want to hear them. Sometimes they're important. So that's why I recommend having those up at 100 and leave master volume at 100. People say to drop it down to 90 because it distorts at 100. It does not distort at 100. Keep it up at 100, guys. Trust me on that. And then going down to number 3, we're going to be talking about the audio mix. And in the audio mix, there's only one I recommend, and that's Sucker Punch. If you really want if you really want, you could do like a bass boost or something, which is right here. I'm using headphones, so headphone bass boost, but Sucker Punch is the best. This is going to allow you guys to hear footsteps, gunshots, everything just a lot louder, a lot clearer. And if there's somebody running around you and you have Sucker Punch on, you'll know if they're upstairs, you'll know if they're downstairs, you'll know exactly where they're at. If you're wearing those headphones and you got that surround sound headphones, you'll know exactly where they're at with Sucker Punch. So this is one I recommend as well. Going down to number 2, I saved sensitivity for here, and this is because this one's kind of optional. I like 7 and 8. I think it's the perfect balance, all right? It's not too slow, it's not too fast. You could turn on enemies quickly, but you could also remain very accurate before you ADS. So I'm leaving mine on 7 horizontal and 8 vertical. You guys don't have to copy me here, but if you really are looking for a nice, solid sensitivity that's all around great, this is it. The reason I put my vertical higher than my horizontal, it goes back to the advanced movement CODs. I used to always do that because there was always a lot of verticality, and I just want to get that verticality off quickly because my gun's always pointed in the center, it's always pointed downwards at windows and doors and corners and stuff, that if an enemy does appear up top, I just want to be able to aim at them a lot faster before I actually ADS. I like to aim with my crosshairs before ADSing, so that works out a lot. And then the last thing I want to talk about, number 1, guys, I think it's in aiming, and this one is really important as well, or it's somewhere. It's somewhere. Let me look for it. I'll tell you guys in a sec. All right, yeah, so it's in aiming, and then from aiming, you're going to go to aiming advanced settings, and then right here, you're going to actually look at ADS sensitivity transition timing. All right. I used to leave mine on instant. I used to always leave it on instant, and then I got a comment the other day. Somebody told me to try out gradual, and he was telling me how it's broken and how the aim assist just works out better with gradual and stuff. So I turned it on, and to my limited testing, I'm going to be honest, guys, it's limited testing. I've been stickier to enemies. I've been hitting enemies a lot easier on gradual. I don't know what it is. I don't know, maybe it's broken, maybe something like that. I don't know what's going on, but if you guys watched till this far in the video, I wanted to give you guys who watched the whole video a helpful tip. Turn it to gradual and thank me later. Actually, don't even thank me. Thank the dude who left the comment. I can't find his comment now, but it wasn't me, guys. It wasn't me. And I gotta say, gradual, it's broken. It's working out nicely. Go ahead and turn it on. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to drop a big fat like. Let me know your sensitivity down in the comments below. My name is Nick. Subscribe to the channel with those notifications turned on. I would truly appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.